May I call your attention? So thank you all very much for joining this afternoon session. And it's a rather difficult to get started. We had only 1 hour, right? Lunch. It's too short. And of course, after lunch, it is very difficult to stay awake. And I hope that this session will wake us all up. And anyway, so and for those sitting in the back, those colleagues, if you don't mind, you might want to move forward. Why not? Right? Okay. Anyway, so instead of waiting for any longer, let's just continue. Let's just start. So this session is on evaluation for regional and international initiatives. The theme of this conference, this year's forum, is about innovations for influential evaluations. I like to switch the words. I want to propose that with this session, we consider influential evaluations for doing better and the regional global programs. So that here we have some influential evaluations and we are considering for this session. Certainly we have a rather diverse topics to cover. We will have 3 presenters presenting very distinct, 3 distinct ways of doing the evaluations. And there are regional perspective, and there are country perspective, and there is on the global perspective. And let me just say that the Asian Development Bank will have first presenter has been focusing on regional cooperation or sub-regional cooperation in Greater Mekong sub-region, in Central Asia, and also in South Asia, and plus in the Pacific. So there are these various regional initiatives. So we'll have a presenter from ADB, the Principal Evaluation Office Specialist, Mr. Hong. He will give us an overview on how that the regional program, the evaluation of the regional programs help us to understand the effectiveness and impact of that the program initiative, especially how the bank plays as an honest broker for supporting the regional initiatives. Thank you. So next, we'll have 2 very interesting, exciting sharing the program initiatives. It's all about China. China has been receiving the foreign assistance from since 1978. But China has also, 15 years ago or so, becoming a very active contributors or providers of foreign aid, and also leveraging the global initiatives for support the development in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, and in other regions. So we will have opportunity to see that how when all this financing, technical assistance, and investment flows going out from China to others, how Chinese government, other agencies developed its evaluation capacity, the systems and capacity to understand the effectiveness of China aid to other countries. So, and there is a learning aspect, and of course, there's also an accountability aspect. So now we'll also have opportunity to hear a very unique initiative when it comes to BRI. So Belt and Road Initiative, we hear about, okay, infrastructure in energy, in transport, but BRI has also other elements about the trade, about the financial infrastructure, about the financial flows, and about the people-to-people engagement. And for this session, we'll have Professor Lu. She will share with us how China is working with, how regional institutions, financial institutions, working together to understand the BRI's financial cooperation work. So, and we'll have that a report, summaries from Professor, that was led by Professor Lu Yang. And then, as I said, that we'll have a presentation on China's evaluation framework, systems, and practices. This will be from Professor Liu from Ministry of Commerce, the Research Institute on Development Evaluation, Development Finance Evaluation. And after these three presentations, and we'll have an expert, international financial policy, development finance policy expert, Professor Ye, to give us her perspective and see how these different presentations help us to see then moving forward, how these lessons from the evaluations carry forward to both for the MDBs, IFIs, and also for China to move ahead with its development finance work. And so for each of the presentation, there will be the 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll have comments from Professor Ye. And finally, and I believe, I hope that we will have opportunity to have the engagement with our participants. So that's the context. That's how we are to organize this session. With that, if I may call on first speaker, Mr. Houqi. He will share with us the recent the evaluations of ADB on these regional programs. And then next is Professor Lu Yang on this financial cooperation. And then Dr. Liu Xian on this China Aid program evaluation. And lastly, and then we'll have Professor Ye give us her perspective, takeaways from learning, and then we'll open up. So this is the game. This is the game, and this is also the rules of the game. Let's start. May I call on Mr. Hong, Senior Evaluation Specialist from ADB. All of them have a very impressive CVs. I will not read verbatim, so just saying that he has been, Mr. Hong, he has been working in China in the West Ministry of Finance. He was with ADB, he was with the World Bank, and he has been with ADB for how many, for 6-7 years now. So with that, let me call on Mr. Hong. Please give your presentation.
Thanks, Mr. Yao. Thanks, everyone. I can see the slides from here. So it's a real pleasure for me to have this opportunity to present two important evaluations of the Independent Evaluation Department of ADB. It's about evaluations of ADB support for two flagship regional cooperation programs. As some of you may know, that regional cooperation and integration is a very important priority of ADB, as mandated by ADB's charter. ADB provided support for three flagship regional cooperation programs. In addition to these two, there is another one. It's called the South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation Program, SIIS. We are evaluating that program as well. So these two evaluations actually is part of the three evaluations. And after completion of the three evaluations, we will have a synthesis report summarizing the main findings and the lessons that can be applied to ADB's efforts to provide the support for ASEAN in the future. So let me start with the introduction of the two evaluations. Next slide, please. So who is helping with running of the slides? I do it. Okay. Okay, but it's not working. Okay, so let's first do a brief introduction about the two evaluations. The first one is the Great Mekong Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation Program. This program was launched in 2092. It was the first ADB RCI program, RCI regional short name of regional cooperation integration. It has 6 member countries, mainly those in the mainland South Asian regions. We have Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, PRC, and Myanmar. So PRC only have 2 provinces participating in this program. That is Guangxi Autonomous Region and the Yunnan province, because they are neighboring to these other countries. The other program is Central Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation Program, CAREC. So this program was launched later in 2001. The member countries comprising mainly the 5 Central Asian countries and some countries around these 5 countries. The 5 countries is Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan. And then the surrounding area, we have Afghanistan, Pakistan, PRC, Mongolia, and then Azerbaijan, Georgia. So 11 countries for the second program. The objective of these 2 programs are similar. They want to help countries to improve the connectivity of infrastructure, and also to help promote economic competitiveness as measured by improved trade and FDI. And then also help to improve provision of regional public goods, which are generally about the activities that help to address common social and environmental concerns in these countries. So the objective of this evaluation is, I think I need to look at this here because it's too small a little bit. So it's really to assess ADB's contribution to support these programs, not evaluating the program's performance, but about ADB's performance, because we cannot assess country performance. We can only assess ADB performance because we are part of ADB. And how ADB helped this program to realize the goals. And also, as mentioned, this is part of the 3 evaluations. So I would like to add that, as you can see, that some of the, especially the first program, it was founded very early, 1992. And the second one, CAREC, also has been launched for 20 years, more than 20 years. So this really shows that the regional cooperation is a long process. It involves a lot of consensus building, knowledge sharing, because of the inherent challenges in RCR, especially because the countries have a lot of concerns that impede the commitment to RCR, especially concerns about sovereignty, concerns about national security, geopolitical issues, and also lack of information about the potential benefits of regional cooperation. So that's why it takes a lot of time, a lot of efforts to achieve real results. So the first is about the findings of the evaluation of the GMS program. The success areas including 3 aspects. One is it helped and enhanced regional infrastructure connectivity, particularly the road network. ADB helped this program to develop a regional corridor network. Okay? So the network is kind of a master plan. And then the various parties, including countries, other development partners, then they can invest in construction of these projects. ADB also, of course, ADB itself is the leading financial provider of these projects. So this is the first one. The second is ADB really provided a critical and effective institutional support for this program to be function well, and for its strategy to be relevant. And also ADB helped the countries to bring them together, to have a good dialogue, good discussions on policies, on projects, on plans, and also provided technical assistance to help countries diagnose issues, develop strategies. And lastly, ADB is the GMS Secretariat. The Secretariat helps countries to organize all of these activities. So it was a very effective role ADB has played in this area. This is two success areas. And as mentioned already, there are some challenges. One is really the contribution to improving regional competitiveness. and the regional public goods has been moderate. Especially we haven't seen significant contribution to improve the trade and the investment. But the ADB did have some contributions in terms of helping this region to develop tourism. So through the projects and activities that help countries to develop the institutional capacity and improve policies, help the countries also to build relevant tourism infrastructure and standards in a coordinated way, so that the countries, the tourism sector saw improvement across countries, and that helped the attractiveness of this region as a single destination of tourists. So that helped really improve the development of this sector. The number of tourists in this region saw tremendous increase over the evaluation period. And then the second contribution on regional public goods is about regional public goods. We already mentioned the social aspects, environmental aspects. For this specific contribution, ADB has made is about communicable disease control. A similar approach was adopted, helping countries to develop the institutional infrastructure, including policies, capacities, so that the country can improve the measures, improve the policies. So it really helped to curb the spread of tuberculosis, for example, and some other diseases. So that's also a good contribution. But overall, the contribution was moderate because the bigger picture level, the contribution is still moderate. Then the challenge also is regional benefits of ADB's projects was not very strong. So it's basically country by country projects. And project design does not pay a lot of attention to the regional benefits. Feasibility study does not look at how the regional benefits will increase. And also the monitoring of results is basically country level results. No results on regarding the improved trade, improved cross-border flow of goods and services. So that's the challenge. So let's go to the next program, CAREC. CAREC also have similar findings, but the degree is a little bit different. CAREC ADB support has been instrumental in helping to make significant progress towards enhancing connectivity. So a lot of roads, road infrastructure has been built along this CAREC corridor network, also helped by ADB to develop. But we haven't seen improved flow of cross-border flow of traffic, goods, services, or people. Not yet, because this program also is later than the GMS. So we can only say that the achievement is really significant progress, not the final results. Also, similarly, the institutional framework has been effective. SASAC, ADB provided the same role, same kind of support, as especially ADB helped us to set up this institutional framework and helped to improve it as well during the implementation process by innovative measures over the course. So yeah, especially ADB helped this region. The geopolitical issues are more severe compared to the first one. So ADB played a significant role in terms of being an honest broker. The challenges. Okay. So challenges similar to the first one, the improvement to regional competitiveness is modest. So no substantial results achieved in terms of removing the border networks. There are still a lot of trade barriers on the border, and also in other areas. The regional value chain, the ADB provided a lot of support, but it's still ongoing. We still haven't seen the results, although we can say it's a good start. Then support for regional public goods also is still nascent. A lot of scoping studies trying to identify projects, but a lot of more consensus building is needed to achieve good results. Similar issues that cross-country cooperation in project design is still a weak point. Now let's take a look at these two programs in a comparative perspective. So both programs have been relatively successful in enhancing infrastructure, physical infrastructure, especially transport connectivity, and providing institutional support, helping countries to coordinate on a good platform. Both have been less effective in helping enhance competitiveness and the provision of regional public goods. So these are the weak areas. A point to stand out is that the ADB's honest broker role has been very significant. During the evaluation, countries interviewed expressed high opinion about ADB's role in this area, especially they feel that some among these countries, because of geopolitical issues and other related issues, they usually don't have enough mutual trust to engage in deep regional cooperation, and the ADB's role really helped them to improve the mutual trust. The difference is that in relative terms, GMS are slightly more successful. As mentioned, this is mainly in the area of competitiveness and regional public goods. As I already mentioned, this probably can be explained by the preconditions for regional cooperation in GMS. GMS is more open to trade and more integrated already, and relatively more advanced in terms of the development of the market economy. So that probably can help explain this. Again, this also indicates that the RCI is a long-term process. So the recommendation of these two evaluations also similar. Although they address different levels, the issues addressed are a little bit different in terms of the severity and the difficulty of the issues. So once the recommendations, the big one, really big one, is that they need to strengthen integrated support for critical non-infrastructure areas. This includes trade facilitation, trade policy reform, environmental issues, cross-border environmental issues, cooperation on climate change, cooperation to promote investment climate, and support for multimodal transport. So basically, the physical infrastructure area are good, but the institutional infrastructure side need to be improved. These are the specific areas as discussed in the two reports that LDB need to strengthen going forward. The second is really to sharpen the focus on the regional dimensions of LDB RCI projects. This including the project design, so that the project design really need to provide solutions to address cross-country issues, and need to promote a cross-country cooperation in implementation of these projects. And we also need to ensure that the transboundary benefits are substantive. Sometimes we don't see a lot of transboundary benefits, but those projects sometimes are also listed as ASEA projects. This kind of issues should be avoided in the future. Lastly, need to improve monitoring and evaluation of regional level results. So especially, we already mentioned the trade and investments, improve the flow of goods, services, capital, people, and ideas, right? And then we need to use the proper indicators, as mentioned. And also we need to have baselines that we can compare with, and we also need to have targets, right? What is the target? So that the operations can be better guided by these targets. Also important is to have proper data collection methodology and system. The evaluation found that there are a lot of important data are not yet collected. So that we have to use a lot of indirect methodology to assess the performance. In the future, the data collection need to be improved. And then lastly, results reporting. In the program meetings, they have annual meetings, semi-annual meetings among high officials from different governments. In those meetings, the discussion of the results are important because they can help country stakeholders, country government officials to identify the gaps so that it can help to develop measures to address these gaps. So I will stop here. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hong, for that very informative presentation. Two regional programs in the regions where they suffered from war in greater Mekong sub-region, or drastic transition from former centrally planned economy to market economy in Central Asia. And so that the drastic events took place, and how the regional cooperation countries working together to bring about not just peace, but development, and moving into from transition to transformation. And we hear the progress is being made, but still a work in progress. And Professor Hong, Dr. Hong told us this is regional cooperation is a long term. So from the evaluation point of view, how this would, a key point he's highlighting is about how to ensure the progress made sustained, and then new benefits can be more realized over time, especially addressing the regional public goods, environment, health, and so on and so forth. Now, we have been hearing that the topic especially focused on regional connectivity in the case of GMS and regional and Central Asia. Now we are hearing at another very important aspect, the dimension of regional cooperation. This is financial cooperation. How the region's financial institutions working together in ASEAN, in Asia Pacific, to self-assess through the experts to understand that they can further strengthen, develop and strengthen the financial infrastructure, banks, non-financial institutions, to support the broader regional cooperation agenda. For this topic, we have Professor Lu Yang from Tsinghua University. She is the BRI expert. She is the political scientist by profession, and she has also has other and very distinguished assignments, appointments. So in Tsinghua, in Shenzhen, and of course abroad. And with that, may I invite Professor Lu Yang to give us this interesting presentation. Professor Lu Yang, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Lu Yang. So thank you very much for the invitation of Dr. Yao. And it's my great honor to be here to share one of my research projects. This is the project, the projects at the end come out as a report. The name of the report is the Belt and Road Financial Cooperation Practice Report, and it was done in 2021. And it's already a project of 3 years ago, but I think this is a very good opportunity for me to share some of the results of the reports, and maybe it will contribute a little to the topics of evaluation today. And I will give first a short introduction. I will first give a short introduction about the background of this report. This report is commissioned by the Asian Financial Cooperation Association. This association is a regional non-government and non-profit international organization registered with China's Ministry of Civil Affairs. The establishment of AFCA was listed into the achievements of Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation. It was proposed in 2015 in Boao Forum, and later it was just coming up, and the establishment it was in 2017. AFCA follows the philosophy of openness and inclusiveness. AFC members covers banks, securities companies, insurance companies, fund management companies, asset management companies, international financial centers, industry associations, fintech and financial service companies, institutions and experts in Asia and beyond with influence as well as willingness to comply with AFC articles are also welcomed to join AFCA. So this is a project, actually it is commissioned by the AFCA to the Belt and Road Institute in Tsinghua University, and I am the executive leader of this group. So you can see that the authors, as Dr. Yao introduced, I am a political scientist or international in expertise, And so this is also, at the beginning, a quite challenging thing because you know the BRI is a very comprehensive plan of Chinese government. And do you see that the BRI, they have several key areas, and financial integrations is one of the key areas of BRI. And so, and there is a lot of areas on financial cooperations. So we have a support of AFCA and economic, experts from Economic Research Institutes of NDRC and Chinese Academy of International Trade and Economy Corporations, Ministry of Commerce. So we have these experts. We have also authors from the different institutions. These including the law office, including the university, including commercial banks, etc. So this is a group work from experts and from different institutes. And most important is the case studies, because you know the AFCA is an association, and it can ask its members to submit some successful cases. And it also wants to foster some information and experience sharing within the members. So I think its establishments already showed some of the intentions and of the Belt and Road, and also showed the achievements. So to make the financial integrations work in a better way, and to finance all these kinds of projects, either infrastructures or some other soft projects, so smart projects. So the characteristic of the, and the length of the reports, it's also quite, it's a huge, it's about 203,000 words. And later we have Chinese version and English version. So if, because it's an internal report, it's not on the internet, but if later some of you have interest, you can ask me to write me an email, and I can share the reports with you. It shows the characteristic of the report. It shows that the whole Belt and Road initiative, or it's especially in the area of financial cooperation in a pragmatic ways, and it aims to enrich the knowledge and reserve in these areas. Systematically, so we will see that the analyzation of the situation of the Belt and Road financial cooperation, especially China in the Belt and Road countries in recent years, and discussing the problems and challenges in various working areas. It gives us always gives some situations and then list the challenges and problems, and later give some policy suggestions. And we have the cases from the membership, and 34 cases. So the cases, there's covers different areas of financial cooperation in Belt and Road Initiative. So I will give a short introductions of the structure and content. First, it's about the micro-policy environment of the Belt and Road Initiative. And you see that there's countries have different macro policy environments. And in view of the current situation challenges of the macro policy environment for the BRI financial corporations, relevant departments need to establish a long-term communication mechanism, strengthen cooperation and coordination in policy, laws, and standards, and provide favorable macro policy environments for the BRI financial corporation development. And the second part is about the credit support. You see that we have 12 parts, and the consideration is that we discussed with the AFCA's experts, and they are interested in these kind of areas because they are the important tools to make the financing possible. And this is why they listed credit support. And credit support, there was a huge demand. In the past few years, credit support played an important role in the Belt and Road Initiative. And the types of financial institutions participating in the Belt and Road Initiative were increasingly diversified, which could mainly be divided into 4 categories: multilateral developmental financial institutions, policy banks, special funds, such as the Silk Road Fund, and commercial banks. At present, there's still a mismatch between the financing supply and demand of Belt and Road Initiative. And and the equity financing is also very important. In general, industry associations and international and regional organizations have continued to standardize and improve institutional arrangements for equity financing. The main achievements involving the increasing diversification of direct investment, including non-financial and financial, the gradual improvement of primary market financing services. And at the same time, due to varying levels of economic development and market maturity of countries along the Belt and Road, intra-regional equity financing still suffers from high investment risk, inadequate access to financing, and low international participation. And the fourth area is about issuance of Belt and Road bonds, because the importance and necessity of bond financing, and by using the power of capital markets to accelerate the implementation of cooperation projects, attract more overseas investors to participate in the construction of the BRI. And the fifth is about insurance services. Because you know most of the countries along the BRI are developing countries, and with complex and diverse risks, including political risk, social risk, legal risk, etc. Insurance mechanism is a common risk prevention tool in international economic affairs. And it should play a bigger role in the construction of the Belt and Road Initiative and provide comprehensive risk protection services for cross-border cooperation of the Belt and Road. And the sixth area is the payment and settlement. The improvement of original payment and settlement system and the construction and promotion of emerging payment and settlement are of great significance. And we all know the US and the Euro are the world's major transaction reserve currencies, but there's some problems of using the USD instead of local currency payments. These will increase cost, lengthen the currency chain, and increase exposures to exchange rate risk. Therefore, the countries around the world incentivized to use other currencies, and these gives renminbi a chance to enhance its proportion in payment and settlement. And the seventh, it's about investment and financing platforms. We know that the platform, it's very important. It's worked as a middleman between the between different parties, and by using the fintech, there is BRI has either from the governments and or from some private initiative. There are some internet platforms was in these years coming up. These platforms are dedicated addressing their problems by internet products, thus providing resource allocation and enhancing investments and financing efficiencies. For example, there are some platforms called Business Angel Network of Southeast Asia, and there's a Tsinghua Silk Road database, PVC Belt and Road United, a research and decision-making support platform of the BRI. This was launched by the Information Network of Development Research Council in 2015. And the eighth chapter is about inclusive financial cooperation. In the vast areas the BRI covered, there are considerable disparities in economic developments, a fair number of people in poverty, and a large proportion of primary industry and small and micro economy. So inclusive finance is also in great demand. And the ninth chapter is about investment risk assessment and management. The 10th is about investment protection and dispute settlements. You see that investment risk management should not only be concerned for companies that carry out projects through financing, but also for financial institutions that provides financial services such as investments and financing from projects. And to understand the common risk of overseas investment and to take timely risk measures is an important step for companies to invest abroad. Combined with the results of research relating to BRI investment and financing projects, this chapter starts from the analysis of status quo of the main risks faced by companies in overseas investments, thus put forward technical analysis and management issues in response to risks, and share opinions and suggestions for management improvement. And the 10th, I've already mentioned, the investment protection and dispute settlement. On January 23, 2018, the Central Leading Group for Comprehensive Continuing Reform deliberated and approved the opinion concerning the establishment of the Belt and Road International Commercial Dispute Resolution Mechanism and institutions. And that is of remarkable significance, both realistically and historically, to resolve international business disputes in an equal and fair and low-cost manner. With current investment protection and dispute settlement mechanisms, mainly based on litigation and arbitration, the usage of alternative dispute resolution methods, such as mediation and conciliation, are limited. So this is still, they face multiple challenges like high complexity, local protectionism, and difficult executive. And in future, this is also areas with lots of efforts, and it needs to establish a diversified dispute settlement mechanisms. And the last, the last chapters, or the main chapter, is about the prospect of BRI financial cooperation, and this is the 12th part is about the case studies. And I think the financial cooperation, the macro policy environment of financial cooperation. I think the time is a little bit limited, and I should be accelerated a little bit. Financial cooperation, there's some policies, so new policies on these. For example, by the end of 2019, the People's Bank of China has set a bilateral currency swap agreements with BRI partner countries. And by the end of 2020, China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commissions has signed regulative cooperation MOUs or agreements with 84 financial regulatory authorities in BRI partner countries. So you see that bilateral monetary cooperation has been deepened. And in the rules, regulations, including guiding principles on financing the development of the Belt and Road Green Investment, principles for the Belt and Road Initiative, and that sustainability framework for participating countries of the Belt and Road Initiative have been gradually established. So, and also at the standards, it is important to create a cooperation mechanism based on connectivity of standards. These can reduce the cost of capital financing and create a good financial cooperation ecosystem for the BRI countries. And for main challenges, there is the restricted cross-border capitals, the simple financing methods, the country-specific risk, the friction caused by the differences in rules and obstacles to interconnection due to inconsistent standards will bring uncertainties to the future prospects of financial cooperation. The prospects of the Belt and Road financial cooperation, there's some major achievement of the Belt and Road financial cooperation. We see that the number of participants is rising. There's years of efforts have witnessed that the multi-level and cross-sector mechanism for the Belt and Road financial cooperation has basically taken shapes. Second, the profile of participants has become more diverse. The Belt and Road financial cooperation mechanism has gradually become a multilateral one that accommodates all kinds of entities from the initial government-dominated bilateral form. And third, the cooperation mode keeps improving. Efforts will be made to prevent financial risks, introduce a framework for analyzing debt sustainability of the Belt and Road Initiative. And all these, you see that the improvements, and you see there's achievements. The major challenges is that compared with developed countries, developing countries facing a high risk of recessions, especially after the pandemic, and the number of people who become poor return to poverty it rises sharply. The pandemic has further exposed the debt vulnerabilities in some countries. And you see the Russian-Ukraine war and all these kind of uncertainties, rise of populism in all of the world. So you'll see that in recent years, there's a tendency of deglobalizations accompanied by mounting unilateralism and trade protectionism. And there's a tendency to spread from developed to developing countries, and how to address these kind of challenges. And we also see that the regionalization is a new type of globalization that better reflects the development needs of countries. You see China's cooperation with, close cooperation with Southeast Asian countries, close cooperation with African countries, especially the China-African summits will be held in these days. And the regionalization is based on multilateralism, but attaches more importance to the subjectivity of each country. And this is also a tendency in future, and how to address, how to combine the regionalization, and how to initiate some new ideas and new measurements to address the challenges, to foster financial cooperation. I just think these would, our discussions could go further and contribute to these directions. But there is also some, from the Chinese government's side, China issued the outline of 14th five-year plans. And the last year, the third Belt and Road Summit in 2020, you see there is also some new move. Both, there's a signature projects and small yet smart livelihood programs were promoted more financing supports. And if you are interested in, you can look at the achievements of that summit. And the last is the case studies. I could not address so many cases. It's about 34 cases. And for example, there's Service Committee of Commercial Finance, Belt and Road Digital Finance Integrated Service Platform, like BOCI Securities, practicing the Belt and Road Initiative, helping going global. It's about the cross-border acquired Sepon Copper Gold project in Laos. And PICC, it has some projects, successful practice on the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway of Indonesia. And all these are successful cases of the members, and how to evaluate, because this is a successful cases 3 years ago, and how these projects are evaluated, and whether it could benefit for the local governments, and how it will further developed. I think this is also a questions will lead to the questions and answers. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Liu, for that very comprehensive overview of the financial cooperation, market-based financial cooperations for support the global development, regional development. Now we turn around to focus on the official development assistance from China to in other regions or in the rest of the world, focusing on how the Chinese government develop its evaluation capacity to hold itself accountable and for learning purpose of the effectiveness of aid. So for that purpose, I invite Madame Niu Xian. So she is the Associate Research Fellow at the Chinese Academy of International Trade and Economic Cooperation of Ministry of Commerce. She is the researcher, a senior researcher in the department, in that institute. She has carried out a number of studies, and today she'll share with us the framework, the practice, and experience. And for that purpose, may I invite Madam Niu, please. And to save time, and for other colleagues and for other participants, if we could just sit at the panel and just to be ready for the discussion.
Thank you, Director Yao. And since we have translators, maybe I will speak in Chinese. Thank you. 谢谢。大家下午好。那么我呢是来自于 商务部研究院国际发展合作研究所。那么我们一直在从事中国对外援助和国际发展合作相关的这个研究。那么其中呢，评估就是其中很重要的一个内容。我列出了一些我们评估相关的一些研究成果。翻译一下。就是说我们其实承担的是2个角色吧。第一个是一个评估者的一个角色，就是说我们直接开展中国对外援助的项目政策的评估，包括财政的这个绩效评价。然后这是第一个身份。第二个角色呢是研究者的一个角色，就是我们一直在跟踪国际上评估相关的经验，包括 OECD 的经验、西方国家的经验，为我们国内的这个政府提供相关的咨询。那么在借鉴国际经验的基础上面呢，我们也参与了中国援助规范化、制度化、标准化的这么一个建设。我们为国合署编制了中国对外援助，这是我们的这个一些研究的成果，大家可以看一下。去年我们为国合署编制了这个中国对外援助项目的评估指标体系，这个是在去年2023年阳光论坛上面已经公开发布了，大家如果感兴趣的话，可以在官网上找到。就这个之后，我后面还会详细的介绍。那么今天呢，也是非常感谢主办方的邀请，有这么一个交流的平台和机会吧，来分享一下我们在开展评估时候的一些做法，以及我们的一些观察和思考。那么首先我想做一个小测试，就是在座的各位有谁了解中国政府对外援助评估体系的吗？可以举手示意一下吗？Anyone knows the evaluation system of China Aid project? 好像大家都很陌生。那我就给大家简单的介绍一下中国政府对外援助的这个评估的这个体制机制吧。就是中国对外援助的这个政府的归口主管部门是国家国际发展合作署，就是 CAITEC， 它是2018年成立的。那么它呢是负责对外援助前后2端的工作，就是包括了援助政策的设计、项目的立项，然后以及后续的监督和评估。那么具体的就是中间那一段项目的具体执行呢，是由各个具体的专业部委来组织实施的。这个专业部委包括了商务部、科技部、生态环境部等一系列的部委。那么其中商务部组织实施的项目占到了80%以上。那么与这个体系相对应的就是我们建立了一个3级的评估体系，包括了日常评估、专项评估和综合评估。日常评估呢，就是以项目为单位的，是由各个执行部门，就是专业部委来自己负责，他们可能会委托第三方机构来开展，比如说像我们这样的机构。那么专项评估和综合评估是由国合署来负责的，就是CAITEC 国合署它基于各部委报送的日常的评估，然后它会以问题为导向，选取重点的议题来开展专项评估，就是 special assessment。比如说前几年开展的抗疫援助的一个效果的评估，或者是中国地方政府参与国际发展合作的评估，还有像受援方自建项目的这种模式的评估。那么再宏观一点呢，是综合评估。综合评估呢是对整一个阶段的这个援助项目的总体实施情况开展评估，是每5年开展一次。 目前开展过2次，一次是2017年，最新的一次是2022年，就是也是由我们来主要负责的，是回顾了2017年到2022年的中国对外援助项目的整体的一个情况。那么同时呢，我们知道，中国的对外援助使用的是国家财政的资金，所以自然也纳入到国家整体的财政绩效评价当中去。所以各个执行部门呢，他们对他们各自负责的项目的预算资金，每年来开展绩效评价工作。那么商务部的财政绩效评价工作呢，是从2014年开始的，然后从2019年开始呢，我们就开始以区域国别为单位来开展财政的绩效评价。所以目前已经做了5个地区，包括了西亚北非地区、东南非地区，就是非洲有2个，就是西亚北非和东南非；亚洲有2个，就是南亚和东盟，还有去年的南太地区。目前是这5个。那么我就选取一个区域作为案例吧，简单分享一下我们做绩效评价的一些主要的方法。大概呢可以分为这6个步骤。首先是搭建指标体系，然后呢是选取样本项目，第3是案头收资，第4呢是问卷调查，第5是现场调查，最后呢形成报告进行这个反馈和改进。整个过程呢大概需要持续半年的时间，一般是从今年的9月份开始，到明年第2年的2会，就是3月份之前提交给财政部。然后这其中呢，我重点介绍2个环节吧，就是我认为比较重要的，就是一个是样本选取，因为中国对外援助的项目每年都有基本上千个，然后落实到每一个区域的话，可能大大小小的项目都会有100来个，我们不可能一一穷尽这些项目，所以每年呢，我们首先会花大量的时间来先做这种项目的筛选，做数据的分析、领域的分析，来选择具有代表性的项目。考虑的维度呢，包括了援助的方式、援助的领域、援助的国别，就尽可能实现全覆盖。大家可以看一下，这是我们做南亚绩效评价时候选取的9个样本项目，可能有在座各位的国家的这个项目，包括了成套项目，就是建设土建这样的项目，也包括了软的，就是技术合作的项目和培训的项目、人力资源开发合作的项目。然后这是比较重要的一个部分。然后第2个比较重要的部分呢，就是我们的问卷调查。因为问卷是我们做定量分析的一个重要的依据。我们每年开展绩效评价会大概发放和回收500份左右的这个问卷。这个问卷呢，覆盖了政府就是受援国家的政府和民众。比如说，举一个例子，比如说第一个项目就是斯里兰卡的这个肾病专科医院项目，我们要进行问卷调查的单位包括了斯里兰卡的援助主管部门，然后因为它是医院项目，所以还要调研斯里兰卡的卫生部，然后第3个呢就是医院本身，就是院长，然后第4个呢是医院的当时所在医院的那个病人，就是需要全部覆盖的，就是反正原则就是说尽可能的涉及尽可能多的利益相关方 stakeholder。再比如说第2个项目就是原巴基斯坦瓜达尔职业技术学校项目。这个项目呢，我们在搜资的过程当中发现，这个项目就是他们的毕业生主要是服务瓜达尔港的，就是他们的毕业生就是直接为他们培养的。所以呢，我们也就加了一个问卷调查的对象，就是采访了瓜达尔港务局，然后了解他们对于我们援助的这个项目的专业的设置和人才培养的一个评价。这是简单的介绍一下我们的这种方法。那么，其实这几个区域的这个绩效评价吧，虽然它不是同一时期开展的哈，它是逐年开展的，但是我们也可以从区域比较的一个视角来看，就是可能会有一些比较有趣的发现，我也借此机会可以跟大家一起分享。就是总的来说呢，就是我认为 中国的区域层面的国际发展合作，它既有中国对外援助项目的普遍的共性，也有因为不同地区它的国情而呈现出来的不同的特点。具体来看的话，就是在立项决策的这个方面呢，所有的项目总体来说呢，都是与受援国家的这个发展规划和实际需求相匹配的。这是从我们对外方的这个调查问卷当中是可以直接得出的这个结论，就是在各个区域当中，基本上80%以上的外方，回复这个问卷都认为中国的援助十分契合，或者是契合当地的这个发展规划。给大家举一个例子，就是在中非合作论坛上，我们曾经宣布了一个举措，就是在非洲建设30个农业示范中心。这个农业示范中心当时设计的时候呢，主要是教我们的非洲朋友怎么种水稻，就因为这是中国的优势。但是呢，我们在和毛里塔尼亚协商的时候，发现就是他们认为毛里塔尼亚的这个当地的重点和优势的产业是畜牧业，所以我们就调整了我们的这个援助的内容。所以大家可以发现，我们在非洲的30所农业技术示范中心，只有毛塔就是毛里塔尼亚，它的农业示范中心是唯一一所畜牧业的农业示范中心，就是教他们怎么养牛。所以，这个例子也就是说，我们的这个援助会根据受援国的这个需求来进行调整，所以在立项方面是和受援国的这个需求是非常匹配的，这是我们的一个发现。第二个发现呢，就是说在过程和产出方面吧，得益于中国对外援助呢，它有一整套的这种非常成熟完善的这种项目管理和制度，所以在各个地方组织实施这个项目的差异其实并不是很大，就是在亚洲建一个医院和在非洲建一个医院，他们的过程是差不多的。就是各个实施主体呢，基本都能够按照我们合同的这个约定，推进项目的实施，保质保量的完成并交付我们的这个项目。然后第三个呢，就是在效果方面，我们总体发现呢，就是我们的援助项目在不同程度上都促进了当地的减贫、改善民生和就业。这个我就不具体展开说了，但是我们从地区比较的视角可以发现，不同国家的这个效果也还是有一点不一样的。比如说，南亚地区和东南亚地区，我们的援助项目在促进“一带一路”方面的效果是比较明显的。比如说巴基斯坦的援助项目，可能在座有没有巴基斯坦的朋友？就是我们巴基斯坦的这个援助的项目基本上是围绕中巴经济走廊来建设的，既有那个瓜达尔国际机场、东湾快速路这种基础设施的项目，也有这种刚刚说的职业技术学校这种人才培养的这种项目，就是软的和硬的项目都有，都结合，然后最大限度的发挥我们援助的综合效益，来配合“一带一路”的这个建设，就既有当下的，也有长远的，既有软的，也有硬的。然后包括在老挝也是，在老挝我们也围绕互联互通开展了一系列的这个土建项目和培训的项目。典型的一个例子就是为了配合建设中老铁路，我们配套援建了中老铁路的这个安居村，就是安置那个沿线居民，这个也很好的起到了一个这个保障的这个作用。这是在东南亚和南亚地区。然后在北非地区呢，因为北非地区的国家它的经济水平总体是比较高的，所以我们的土建类的项目比较少。然后我们评价发现呢，我们的知识共享和技术转移的这种项目是比较多的，然后效果也是比较好的。比如说埃及呢，它一直希望成为这个地区航天的大国，就是非洲航天局就是落户在埃及。然后呢，我们援助了一个项目，叫做埃及2号卫星总专集成项目，就是帮助埃及拥有它自主研发、集成、组装那个卫星的那个能力。然后据我们评估了解到，就是我们这个项目培训的20个埃及的员工，现在已经全部成为埃及航天局的这个核心骨干了。这是北非地区。然后西亚地区呢，西亚地区的特点它是难移民，就是人道 主义的这个问题是比较突出的。所以这个地区呢，我们土建项目是非常少的，主要是以人道主义物资为主，然后帮助他们抗击这个自然灾害这些。然后第4个地区呢是东南非地区。东南非地区除了我们传统的医院啊这些民生的这种项目，绿色环保的这个援助的效果是特别好的，这是我们评估发现的，包括了埃塞俄比亚的绿色河岸项目。还有津巴布韦的森林保护项目，就是帮助当地增加绿化，然后保护野生动物，传播我们绿色发展的这种理念。这个是在效果方面的一个地区比较的一个视角哈。当然，我们在评估当中也发现了一些我们中国援助的一些问题，可以给大家分享2个，一个是就是外方的配套是落实能力。是会直接影响到中国援助的这个效果的，就是项目产出的及时性和这个外方的这种履约的能力，是会影响到我们的产出的及时和我们的可持续性的这个发挥。然后第2个问题呢，就是说，在产出质量这一块，基本上中国的土建的这种援助项目，就是大家是可以非常放心的，就是它的质量一般都是特别优良的。但是在智力援助的这个方面呢，我们认为还有改进的空间。特别是我们在做西亚北非地区的那个绩效评价的时候，我们发现就是普遍反映就是在技术合作和培训的这种翻译的这个质量上是有待提高的，尤其是专业性很强的这种领域，就是非通用语种的这个翻译质量对于效果的影响是很大的。这是我们的一些评估的发现。其实在这个介绍过程当中，我也顺带就讲到了我们评估的这个标准。其实对比一下中国的这个评估的这个标准和 OECD 的那个评估标准，其实是有类似的。其实像我们的这个过程目标、过程、产出、效果、可持续性，基本上是对应了那个 OECD DAC 的评估标准，就是 relevance。effectiveness, efficiency, impact 和 sustainability， 这个都是通用的。但是刚刚我前面最早也提到，就是我们去年发布的这个对外援助项目的评估指标体系，就是除了这个通用指标之外呢，我们也是基于中国援助的全链条、全领域、全方式的这么一个特点，设计了专用指标和特殊指标。就是专用指标是根据援助的领域来设置的，我们选取了中国援助比较多的10个领域，包括教育、医疗卫生、文体、公共管理这些，就是列出了我们评估的这个要点，就是不同类型的、不同领域的这个援助，我们需要考虑的这个方向是不一样的，我们都已经列出来了。如果大家感兴趣的话，可以在网上找到。然后最后未来几点展望吧，就是第一个是我们的项目应该要继续做好项目的这个影响前瞻，然后做好这个目标的设置。因为其实从目前来看，我们区域的这个援助的目标还是缺失的，都是直接是项目的这个目标，所以这在对我们做地区的绩效评价来说，其实是有一点困难的。所以希望未来呢，可能我们可以除了项目的目标设置之外，我们可能还要增加国别的、区域的这种更高层次的这种援助目标的设置。然后第2个呢是继续丰富我们的后评估工具箱，因为刚刚介绍了我们主要是用这种案头搜资呀、社会调查呀、问卷呀这种形式，可能未来呢是不是可以学习这种国际组织的先进的经验，使用这种 AI 啊、大数据啊、地理卫星啊这些新兴的这种形式来用于我们的援助的评估。然后第3个呢是设置创新快速的这种评估管理机制。这个主要是因为我们现在国际发展合作的趋势呢是朝着小而美的方向在转型。小而美呢其实就意味着它的点多，可能面广，所以就是为了节省我们的这个评估成本，是不是要创新一些更快速的一些评估机制？比如说是不是可以邀请受援国当地的一些合作伙伴来参与到我们的评估当中？这是我们简单的一些思考吧，我就先说到这儿，谢谢。
谢谢Madam Liu shared with us this very informative and insightful this not only the evaluation processes, systems, and practices. I thought that the illustrations, the different region, country illustrations, very informative. Really, it shows that how the evaluations contribute to better design and a more fitting support in the countries. We heard the Mauritania example, we heard about Pakistan example, so and various other things. Now, we have very much and coming to the end of the session, but we will have a very important feedback from our expert, this international development finance expert from Professor Ye. And she will share with us now from what we have learned, the multilateral evaluation on the regional cooperation program, from this financial cooperation perspective, and then from the official development aid financing perspective, this and various experiences. Let's and have invite Professor Ye to give us her takeaways. Maybe she'll have a few questions for the rest of the panel. Professor Ye, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Yao, and for giving me this I'm very privileged to be a commentator. I think I'm the only commentator in the whole session. And it's really a learning process for me, actually, about the evaluation topic. And to save time, we have three important speakers. But can I just summarize them into multilateral evaluation and bilateral evaluation? Because Mr. Hong focused on ADB's role, while Ms. Lu and Ms. Liu basically share their observation on Chinese public sector and private sector, actually not really private sector, commercial market-based financial institutions, their practice. So I have two major points. First, on the multilateral one, I think Mr. Hong chooses a very key topic for the session, the regional integration. This is very timely in the deglobalization era, and if we can say that. And his presentation is very comprehensive. I think very balanced and realistic finding about the ADB's role in the two regional integration. One is the GMC, the other is CAREC, Central Asia area. I think my key takeaway from his presentation is first, on the success side, the programs are quite successful in improving the hard infrastructure connectivity in transportation, and also in the ADB's institutional role in building trust in the cross-border connectivity. I think that's the very successful part. But he also reminds us that their evaluation finds the regional program are not very, no confirmed evidence on the impact on improving trade relations, the soft connectivity, and also improving the regional competitiveness. I think that's a more fundamental benefit that we hope the program should achieve. So that's my key takeaway from that. And when I listen to his remarks, it reminds me of the World Bank's two similar reports. Both were done in 2019. One is on the World Bank's rule done by the World Bank's IEG evaluation, independent evaluation group on the regional, on the World Bank's rule on the regional integration. And I found that their conclusion is quite similar to Mr. Hong's on the hard part is quite successful, while on the trade is quite weak. And the only difference is World Bank's regional integration program focused on Africa area, because that's their major, and not much on the Asia area. So, and the second report by the World Bank is on the World Bank's assessment on the so-called BRI economics. You can check the report, which was quite widely quoted by Chinese media. And that was not done by the evaluation department, but on I think it's on the trade or some practice, a global practice department. And one of their key point quoted by Chinese media is that if the BRI is fully implemented, it will improve global trade by 6.2%, I think. And for the BRI countries, their trade will improve by even more, 9.7%, and also improve the global income by 2.9%, which is quite impressive. But there's a big if fully implemented. So it's not an evaluation report as we talked today. But anyway, I think this just to express our hope that the regional connectivity, hard connectivity should improve trade, but it still takes time to, so that's the first point, my first impression about the multilateral one. So, but I still really feel hopeful that the multilateral institutions can play a very important role, especially in this area, when the geopolitical situation is getting worse. So that's the first point. And the second point about the bilateral, about the Chinese foreign aid, not ODA. We don't call it ODA, just foreign aid, and also the BRI, those market-based financial cooperation. I think I have this following takeaways. First, China has done more than said. So nobody hands up except a young lady, and so that's including me. I actually don't know much, so I really appreciate Ms. Liu. Really very informative presentation for us. And many of the reports, I really hope we can check it out from the website in the future. And the second point is that I think China has, I believe, has a lot of experience to share with your participants here, with our international participants here, based on Chinese own development experience. But in terms of the institutional setup, I think there's still a big gap to learning from you, from the multilateral side. So I just think the MDBs, including ADB and others, I think have a key role in helping Chinese institutions to build a capacity in the evaluation. And that's also my learning from the Chinese financial institutions. They actually really hope to improve on this aspect, on the evaluation part. And if you read the recently concluded the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee, there is one paragraph. It focuses on the reform, institutional reform, and one paragraph focuses on the expanding the institutional open up. And the last sentence of this paragraph is to further reform institutions and mechanisms for foreign aid and realize full chain management. So, which is very, for me, I'm impressed by that sentence. So, And also, I think for China itself, it is not only an issue that improves its own self-management, as Ms. Liu has mentioned, and also I think this is very important in telling the story to the world when there's a lot of narratives about debt trap. So I think it's really significant for Chinese institutions, especially I think foreign aid has doing probably quite good. But even less we know about those financial institutions. So that's a second point for the Chinese bilateral practice. And just to conclude with a question, as Professor Yao said, can I ask three of you, if you have any time, how can for the ADB's evaluation on the regional integration, how the member countries' institutions can participate more in this regional integration program to improve the effectiveness of this from hard connectivity to soft connectivity. Thank you.
For Professor Ye for that very insightful comments, both on the multilateral point evaluation done by ADB and bilateral. From that is official and commercial. And let's hold on to that question. I'd like to invite one or two questions from the floor. If there are any participants who would like to ask questions. I saw two hands raised. A third hand? Would there be a third hand raised? Okay, right. We have, let's start with Ms. Yang in the back, and then the gentleman in the front.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot your name, but my question is to CAITEC. I would wonder, or could you please elaborate how CAITEC or the Ministry of Commerce research on evaluation, how you differentiate research and evaluation, and I mean in practical evaluation, how you integrate these two elements, and also how to differentiate. I know it's very abstract, but research and evaluation, they are different, and how you use research as a tool to realize evaluation objectives and to answer the questions. This is a very tricky question, so if you need clarification, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So research and evaluation for Ms. Liu. Now, yes, the mic is in back. You stand in front of the mic. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for Dr. Yao. I'm Andy Xu from Zhejiang University. I'm the sophomore student, and I have two questions. The first one is for Dr. Hong. We noticed that in your speech, you mentioned, like, in my cognition, ADB stays in an intermediate position and rather than a dominant position. And also the evaluation we discussed is actually based on ADB action itself. While at the end stage of these events, actually, of these projects, achieving these goals requires lots of active involvement of local government itself. So my question is there any organizations or departments that conduct independent evaluations of local government? And if so, does ADB play any role or have some connection with it? My second question is to, I believe, Dr. Liu. Like, I'm having a class which is kind of have a international affairs and the practice of Chinese government in the African region. And there is an observation that the construction of the railway may have some negative impact of the migration of local wildlife. And lots of Western media do portray it in a really negative way, which undermined our efforts we put on the African region. So in this context, I would like to inquire whether we have incorporated local community satisfaction as a really primary role in our performance evaluations, and additionally, have we taken into account the influence of media coverage on our aid efforts? Thank you very much.
Very good questions. So can we hear from Mr. Hong first, and then Ms. Liu?
Okay, thanks. I'm not sure whether I understand the question correctly, but in terms of the which agencies we evaluate, so we only can evaluate the ADB's performance, but as you mentioned, that other entities play important role as well. So when we evaluate ADB performance, we also look at how ADB helped those other entities to perform better. So that's part of the evaluation. Of course, the government themselves should a corresponding system to help assess the performance of the government entities, I think. So I don't know whether this answers your question. Thanks. Okay. Okay, the other question is about how institutions from member countries can better participate in regional programs, multilateral, supported by multilateral organizations like ADB. So that's a very good question. Actually, one of the objectives of the ADB support for these regional programs is to help mobilize more support from different kinds of organizations, including organizations from member countries, private sectors as well. So there are some working groups or forums in these two programs that mobilize, bring different organizations, different entities together to discuss the strategies, to solicit the contributions about what is the best way to go forward for the programs, what are the good strategies that need to be adopted, and also the programs, the list of projects that could be potentially supported by different organizations. So this is a good way for country organizations to participate in this program. So overall it is supported, is welcome by this program and ADB. Thanks.
感谢这两个提问，我觉得问的问题都特别的好。就是第一个关于研究和评估的这个关系的问题，确实，我觉得就是因为我们的这种双重的身份，确实这两个还是不完全一样，但是又是可以相互促进的。在我看来，就是因为评估的时候，我们会带着一个第三方的一个这种批判的这种视角，就是要去发现问题。是一种更公正的一种视角，但是发现了这个问题之后呢，可能下一步呢，就是我们在评估当中学习，然后怎么改进，这其实就是我们研究的范畴。因为我们是作为政府的智库单位，我们的研究呢也不单纯是学术的研究，更多的是一种政策的研究、决策的咨询这样。所以我们在评估当中发现的问题，可以为我们下一步的这个政策的这个研究提供很好的这个参考。所以我觉得它是一个相互促进的一个关系，对。然后第二个问题就是关于非洲在铁路建设的时候是不是破坏了环境？ 我们是怎么开展评估的？这个确实对于我们来说是一个比较复杂、比较大的一个工程，因为铁路就是它的覆盖面是比较广的。比如说中老铁路的这个安居村项目，我们是采访了这个住在安居村的这个居民，我们可以采访到他的这个满意度。但是对于整个铁路沿线，我们很难是说去大规模的这个采样。所以我在刚刚那个未来展望的时候也说到，就是未来我们可能也会试点开展使用一些这种地理信息啊，这种或者是大规模采样的这样一种更高科技、更新兴的一些技术来完善我们的这个评估的这个手段。
好，谢谢聂老师。Okay, thank you all very much. Thank you for the question. The people raise questions, and thank you for the participation. And thank you. Let me also invite all of you to thank our panelists, the presenters, and the commentator. So, and let's give a hand of applause for their appreciation. Is concluded, so I really appreciate this time. So let's move on to I think there will be next session. Okay, thanks a lot.